guys, Bill Seamantel from the BBZ TV. I have some exciting news. Going with a few buddies. We're going to El Salto, my first time down in Mexico. So I've been trying to get some gear ready. My team partner Ron Thompson and I just finished a couple tournaments up here at Castake, did well, and time to tear apart the boat, get some gear ready for El Salto. And basically the breakdown, what I'm doing is my concept that I've talked about for so many years is the top, middle, bottom. I want to go with a handful of baits that I can cover the top, middle, bottom. We're only going for a few days, so you don't want to overload yourself with stuff, but you do want to take some stuff that's proven baits that's going to work anywhere. Again, Mexico is no exception. I'm going to go over real quickly just some rods and reels, and then a handful of baits I'm taking. And when I go down there, I'm going to be able to adjust to cover the top, middle, bottom to see where they're going to hit at. We're going to end of January to the first part of February. There's supposed to be a bunch of tilapia nets down there. I guess right when we get there, they're going to pull them out of the water, and then they're going to put them back in right after we leave. So that's another reason why so many people take more baits of one style, because there's a lot of opportunities to lose baits. So you're going to see what I have here. But big shout out to Spro. We're going down with some good stuff from Spro. Daiwa, I got my all my Daiwa rods and reels ready, and let's go over some stuff real quick. So basically, I'm taking 2 zillion big bait rods, 801s, with Lexa 400s. Now I got the 741. I got 4 models of the 741 zillions, which I'm really like. They're a little bit beefier rod, but I could use everything from big worms to my rat baits and to the Spro 6-inch swim bait. So these are very versatile, multi-purpose rods for me. I have 2 with the high-speed Zillion or the Lexa 300s. I have a couple HD 7.3 to 1s for my baits that have bills and they have a little bit more resistant. That's the key there. And then I have my favorite cranking stick. I got a 6 to 3 to 1 with a DXS swimbait series, a saltwater series rod, but it is phenomenal crankbait. I've caught fish up to 12 pounds already cranking it. So, and guys, what I'm going to do on my big baits is, depending if I'm using the big 8-inch swim bait or my tubes, which you're going to see, I'm going to have 65-pound maximum braid or 25-pound max. I mean, they're going to both work very fine. I've never had issues with this stuff anywhere I fish for big fish. On my 8 to 1s, on the 300s, they're probably going to be my deeper baits, slower retrieves with my big worms and stuff. I'm going to put 18-pound max on those. I got enough line to last me a few days. I'll take an extra spool with me just in case, but I should have no issues with that. And then I'm going to have a couple other rods set up for the 50 rat and the 6-inch swim bait with probably 50-pound braid, because they're going to be more of the Topwater system. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with maybe 15-pound Maxima Ultra Green for my crankbait. I should have no issues with that no matter what. So that's a basic breakdown of my rods. Now we're coming to the killer stuff. So when I'm talking about the top, middle, bottom, I want some proven baits, and it depends on the cover and structure you're also fishing. So I've never been to El Salto. I heard this time of year there's a lot of water in there. Bunch of trees. There could be grass. I just don't know, but I want to cover myself, and I want to catch big fish. I don't need to catch 5-pounders. I want to try to catch the 8 to 10 to 15-pounders when I go there. So I'm going to look for a little bit bigger size bait. I don't need to catch 100 fish a day, even though it's fun for a lot of people. If I caught 20 to 30, I would be completely happy. Fishing Castake, there's times out there I fish for the whole day just for 5 bites. So anything's going to be better than Castake at that point. But big thing, Topwater. I'm looking at Dean's Bronzeye King Daddy. I'm going with just a couple proven colors, the black and the bluegill color. And that's just in case I'm around some heavy trees or there any type of vegetation. Then I'm looking for a good topwater bite that I could slosh it over the top of it. Going back to the topwater again, the BBZ one, Rat 50, my favorite bait. I could walk it and wake it. I'm not going to have any issues. I'm only taking a couple of these because these things last. I did bring a couple tails because I know some of our other guys are going to be there with the same bait, so we have some replacement tails. Top to middle, I'm taking a slow sink 8-inch BBZ silverfish, one of my favorite colors. I catch fish on this everywhere I go. So that'll be one of my big bait rod setups. My middle range is going to be the 6-inch BBZ slow sink. This thing is just going to clobber fish. So I could adjust this from working a little bit faster up on the top of the water, or I can count this down a couple feet per second to kind of work the mid depths of the water column. So I have that covered there. Any lake you go to, you know, I went out and Spro sent me some Aruco 85s. These things are the bigger Aruco shads, and simple colors, the gold black back and the silver blue back. Proven colors anywhere you go in the U.S. And these baits, you can actually reel them quick across the surface and hop them off the bottom because they sit face down when you work them. So these are good top, middle, bottom baits. Everybody talks about big crankbaits. Man, John Cruz knocked it out of the park with this one. The Little John Super DD. These are going to be the bomb there. I heard that is a unbelievable crankbait lake. We're going to have this tied on. I only have the 2 colors, and I'm telling you, the Cellmate's my favorite color. I've caught monsters fish on this everywhere in California, and actually back east too. So phenomenal baits. I will definitely have one of these tied on. I backed it up with the Little John 70 DD just in case I want to get a little bit shallower. The Super DDs can get 20 to 25 foot depth. These will get 16 to 20, so depending on the cover and structure, we'll have that covered. So I have that. When you go down to Mexico, guys, everybody talks about spinnerbaits. Spinnerbaits are really good because they're a top, middle, bottom bait. You can work them in all situations. I went to Tackle Warehouse. I found these things, I don't even know what they're called. They were just the biggest spinnerbaits I found at Tackle Warehouse. Blade Runner tackle. They're called the Grumpy. They're 2.5 ounces. I like throwing big baits. The biggest thing is stinger hook system. Now, guys, here's a kick for this. Is the Big River baits, the 7/0, fit perfectly on the back of this big spinnerbait. So I could add a trailer to it, but I also have a big stinger hook, and I love these hooks. I've caught, man, monster lake trout on it, big ocean fish. This thing's unbelievable. So that'll help because the bait's so big, it shrinks that size of the hook down that they have in this product. So that's my 1-2 punch. I have that. Keeping baits that you have across the board for years. Now, some of these worms I have, these are from Pete Cormier from Deadly Duo Baits. I had these poured back in 1990s when I knew Pete, when we first started doing the big tube. If you take care of your product, they last forever and you never know when you're going to use it. Pete poured me 13-inch worms back in the day. I got a box of Pete's worms, 13-inch. These are customs from when I used to fish the Delta. Fished a lot of these actually with Bobby Barrick back in the day when I'm going there. I have the Gamakatsu Monster EWG hooks, size 6/0 and 7/0. If I need to drop shot these, the Steve Davies, Team Davies Ventana drop shot sinkers, I got 1/2 ounce and 1/4 ounce set up on that, and then I just have a bag of assorted lead Texas rig, so I could use that either way. Then we're going to the big stuff, guys, my tubes. This is a top, middle, bottom bait, and I have these set up. This is the stuff I started many years ago at Castake and Casitas. I've got hundreds of monster fish on it. You can work it at all depths from the top to the bottom, 0 foot of water to 50. And I'm taking a handful of tubes. We're only going to be there 3 days on the water, but I brought a handful that if I go through these tubes, I'm going to catch a ton of fish. So that's a top, middle, bottom bait. Very versatile. One of my favorite baits I've made back in the day with Pete. So also after Pete and I discussed, and I went to Lindy Little Joe and we did these for Lindy for a while. And then just secondary gear, guys. I'm going to make sure I get a fish delier, make sure I take my column right. I got 65 and 50 pound, a couple spools of braid for Maxima, and then I'm taking just one spool of 18 pound. It's an all-around unbelievable line diameter for fishing anything out there, from the rat baits, the swim baits, to big worms and heavy covering structures, so I'll have no issues with that. They said it might sprinkle and rain out there, so I'm taking a light pair of my Sims rain suit just to have that early in the morning. And the other cool stuff is I have my team partner years ago built me some really unbelievable lure retrievers for the big swim baits. I'm going to take these down there for the crankbaits because I do not want to lose my Spro Little John Super DDs. So Ron Thompson made some of these. These are just awesome lure retrievers. So I got a couple of those, and just little miscellaneous stuff, just safety and stuff. You cannot ever forget. I take the Pro Soft Bait Glue everywhere I go. Small cuts in my fingers I take care of. Equipment actually failing and breaking and stuff, I've actually fixed it with this stuff. I put the heels of my shoes back together. I always take this stuff with me. It's just a phenomenal product, and it comes in handy when you need it. I went and got a couple pairs of Simms sun hoods and the hand gloves. So getting older and stuff, guys, you got to protect yourself with the sun and skin cancer and stuff. So I got some of that. So my objective, guys, and I know this is getting long, and I'm going to do multiple videos as we go through to kind of tell you what we're doing. All of this, I'm going to try to get in a couple boxes. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm going to do my best. And then we're going to pack some clothes, and we're getting ready to head out of here on the weekend. So this is just a common sense breakdown of things to take for a top, middle, bottom approach on a lake you've never been there before. And I know with this product here, I'm going to be able to find the fish and catch the fish. So, hey, real quick recap, guys. Took me about an hour, hour and a half to organize everything, but I got everything in a few boxes. My Super DDs, 70s, the Ruku shads, rats, swim baits, worms, tubes, miscellaneous line, and then I have my rods already spooled up and ready to go. On the two big bait rods, I have 25 max and 65 pound max braid, two 18-pound max setups for my worms. I could use that for my rats, topwater, swim baits as well. And then I have two of my other rods set up with 50-pound braid, and then my crankbait. A lot of guys say use 15, 18-pound mono. The Daiwa reel I went out and bought, it just doesn't have the line capacity. So I put 50-pound braid, I should be fine. I have a really light tip rod, so that's going to compensate it. So that's it, guys. Packed it up. I'm going to get all this stuff put in the tubes, packed, and I'll be ready to go. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Check this information out to go to Billy Chapman Jr.'s Lake El Salto down there in Mexico, and we'll give you more information as we go down and basically break down how easy it is to get down there and enjoy some unbelievable fish catches. So stay tuned, I appreciate it, and check back soon for more videos from the BBZ TV. Thanks.